Are you thinking about investing in an accessory dwelling unit or ADU in Buxton, Maine? Did you know that most towns and cities in Maine have placed additional restrictions around having an ADU in their community? In this video, we're going to talk about Buxton's ADU rules that we must adhere to in order to have an ADU in their community. Let's get after it. First of all, you need to get yourself a copy of the Buxton ADU packet. You can get a copy from the town of Buxton or by emailing us. Our information is down below. In the packet, you will find out on the very first page whether or not an ADU is allowed in your zone. Notice the zones along the top. A P means permitted and an N means not permitted in that zone. If you don't know what zone you're in, you need to get a hold of a zoning map and locate your property. Margaret and I can help you with that as well. Oh, and if you're new to this channel, my name is Michael Patterson and my partner and daughter is Margaret. We are local ADU dealers here in Southern Maine and can provide you with designs and prices that will help you start planning your ADU investment. If you have questions about ADUs in a specific town, we can help you with that as well. Our contact information is down below. Once you know for sure that you are allowed to have an ADU on your property, here are a few things to keep in mind when it comes to ADUs in Buxton, Maine. There is a 2-story limit on the ADU, and there is a limit of 5 buildings per affordable housing development. If the ADU is within or attached to a single-family dwelling, it must comply with street and shore frontage, lot width, and yard setback requirements. The ADU must be between 190 and 500 square feet. Driveways serving the ADU that are longer than 200 feet from the street must provide an emergency vehicle turnaround. It is very important that you share your ADU plans with the Buxton Code Enforcement Officer before you start spending money on site work. And you absolutely have to have a permit before you set up an ADU. If you plan to tie your ADU's wastewater into your existing septic system, you may need a DEP permit, and Margaret and I can help you with that process. Guys, if you're finding this video informative, please consider giving it a like. Once you have secured that you will be able to make your ADU comply with all state laws and the town of Buxton requirements, it's time to select an ADU. This also requires some homework. For those thinking that they will just use their RV as an ADU, well, you might be able to if the RV complies with LD 1981, the American Standards Institute or ANSI standard A119.5 on plumbing, propane, fire, and life safety and construction, or the National Fire Protection Association NFPA standard 1192 on plumbing, propane, fire, and life safety for recreational vehicles. You have to make sure it does not exceed 400 square feet in size, that it does not exceed any dimension allowed for operation on a public way under this title, and is a vehicle without motive power. To find out if your RV is in compliance, look for a sticker on the RV that looks like this. You'll notice right there it says A119.5. If you don't find this on your RV, try reaching out to the manufacturer. I want to take a moment and let you know that if you'd like to learn everything about ADUs in the different towns in Southern Maine, click subscribe and tap the bell so that you'll be the first to know when we post another video. You primarily have 3 options for an ADU on your property. First, you can stick build the ADU, which means you or a contractor buys the lumber, windows, siding, etc., and builds the ADU from a set of plans. This is a good option if you can't find the floor plan and roof design that you want in the market. The second option is going with a modular ADU that is delivered to your property. Modular units are essentially stick built, but with some customization options. The third option, which is my favorite, is a tiny home ADU that is ANSI or NFPA compliant that is on wheels. These units are also stick built. The reason why I like tiny homes on wheels is because they can be moved should you choose to get rid of your tiny home at some point or to take it to another property. In other words, you can sell it and have it towed away. Having the ADU towed away if it is stick-built or modular, is generally cost prohibitive. Margaret and I can provide you with lots of tastefully designed tiny homes and modular ADUs. If you have questions that I'm not covering about ADUs in Buxton, feel free to give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email, or our favorite, set up a Zoom. We'll do our best to answer your question or investigate it for you. Okay, I want to bust some myths about ADU ownership. First, sometimes they can increase your property value considerably, but not always. Adding more livable space on your property is usually great for property values, but if the ADU isn't added properly, it could be an eyesore in the neighborhood. This is another reason to invest in an ADU that looks classy, but can easily be towed away. Second, if, for example, you are adding an ADU to increase the rental value of the property, keep in mind that many towns require that you personally live in the primary dwelling unit. Third, remember ADUs are not allowed in all zones. We have to check with the town first, and Margaret or I can handle that for you. Fourth, you are not always limited to one ADU. For example, some towns allow for an attached ADU as well, which can sometimes be thought of as an apartment attached to your house. But remember, rules are often specific to the town, and we can get that information for you. Okay, I hope I've answered some of your questions, and if not, remember, our contact information is down below. And if you want to learn more about living in Southern Maine, watch this next video.